Hey guys, welcome to Superlative Radio. Dylan Stone here with you. Hope you enjoy the following vlog.
Hey guys, welcome to another vlog here on Superlative Radio. I'm the Saw, and this is my first vlog of the year. Companion piece, actually, to the one that Dylan did, if you happen to see his when it aired the other day. I want to talk about how when you do have a job, or you're trying to get a job, one of the things about it, because he talked about like an unemployment line and then the job line, and the job line had nobody in it because it's a bunch of baloney that you got to put up with and whatever. But my point is that say you get into that line and you take the job, right? And of course there's all the baloney you got to put up with. It also lists the fact usually that it's like, well, we're going to hire you to do this, but you also got to do these 3 other jobs too. But we're not going to pay you as if you're working 4 jobs. We're going to pay you for 1. And that seems to be a very common thing today. I don't know about like any of you out there. If you go looking for a job and you're checking the job banks and you look at the qualifications and it's like, okay, well, you have to have like 12 years of experience doing this. You have to have 8 years of education doing this. And you've got to, you've also got to be able to do this. And like a common thing is, because my background, I went to school, I took advertising and marketing. And when you go and you look for a job in one of those fields, as an example, like you'll see, okay, well, we want you to be the marketing manager for blah company. But you also need to know HTML, and you also need to know how to do some graphics, and you also need to know how to do this, and you also need, and it's like what you're asking for is like 4 different or 5 different jobs, right? Like there's graphics are for graphic designers. That's supposed to be their niche. That's what they take, and they excel at it if they're good because they've studied just that aspect. Yeah, you touch on the other things. Like in my course, we touched on lots of things, but you still picked your focus, right? So, and then if they want you to know HTML and they want you to know coding and they want you to know, that's a programmer. That's a programmer's job. That's a whole other different thing. Like that's a whole other job that someone goes to school and learns for. So when you're hiring people for these jobs, you got to remember, like you can't ask people to do 4 different jobs and get paid for 1. That's part of the problem with the world today is everybody expects way more, but they want to pay way less. And then you get the places where they might pay you really well, but they still want you to do 4 or 5 jobs, but at the same time, they really don't treat you very well. To find a company that actually treats you very well is a rarity. To find one that offers you any kind of a pension plan or benefits is rare. To find one that offers you vacation time is rare. To find one that gives you decent raises or decent salaries or, all the, and then to find one that does all of it, it's almost impossible. It's like looking for a needle in a stack of needles. Not even a haystack. It's like a needle in a stack of needles, and you got to find one particular needle. Like, it's that difficult. Because people they seem to have this idea that all they're going to do is get, one person to do 5 people's jobs. Or another good example is you'll notice when companies are downsizing, right? So they're like, okay, well, we're going to downsize. So that just means instead of letting people go, what's going to happen is when people retire, we're just not going to replace them, but we're going to give their job to another person. So that person now has 2 jobs, but they're only getting paid for the one they were doing. That happens a lot too. And that's not right either. Because if you're going to do those things, you need to make sure that you're paying people the way they should be paid and you're treating them the way they should be treated. Unfortunately, that's just not the case with a lot of them. When you're out there looking for a job, just remember that. When you go and ask them, it's like, well, are you going to pay me for doing 3 people's jobs? Because that's what you have listed under qualifications. And you might have all the qualifications. You might be able to do all 3 or 4 jobs. But you should ask them, how does that benefit me? If I'm doing 4 different people's work, why am I only getting paid for 1? Shouldn't I be paid for more? And that is a question that I would ask if I was going for a job interview. Don't undersell yourself and don't undersell your worth. And if a company isn't going to pay you what you're worth, or they're not going to treat you the way you should be treated, or validate you, or appreciate the work you do, then they don't deserve to have you. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are just slackers too. And I mean, obviously, if you're an employer and you have those kinds of people, you don't want to keep them around either. So, I mean, like, you got to remember, it all goes both ways. You either have people and you treat them well and they work good for you, or you go out and you get a job and you don't undersell yourself. So just think about that when you're looking for a job or you're out doing whatever, you know, and you're looking at a list of qualifications and you're going, well, this job says sales manager. Well, I know I've been in sales for years. I know all about sales. Wait a minute. They want me to be this, and they want me to be this, and they want me to be this, and they want me to be this. Well, those other things are not part of a sales job. They're just tacking them on. And you'll notice a lot of companies when they hire you, one of the things they'll do is they'll say, this is your job description. And it might be exactly what it is. Like, okay, all right, let's use a waiter or a waitress as an example, right? Okay, you're going to be hired as a waiter or waitress. So you go to this restaurant, you get the job, and you're looking at thing, and it's like, okay, you got to serve people, you got to ring people in, you've got to bring their food to them, you've got to ask them how they're doing, blah, all those sorts of things. But then you'll notice they always tack this little thing at the bottom where they said, or any other task that we decide to ask you to do, basically, or in some wording of that. And that's one way they try to get around all this baloney of not, you know, because then they'll be like, yeah, okay, well, we need the floors mopped, and we need this cleaned, and we need that cleaned. Get a janitor. You know? That's what it is about. And these businesses always stick those little lines at the very bottom because they want to make sure, well, any other task that we actually assign to you. Well, if you want me to do another job, you need to pay me to do another job. Don't just pay me because you say, well, I'm paying you for your job and be thankful you have a job. That's not the way it works. Or at least it's not the way it should work. Anyway, we'll catch you guys for another vlog right here on Superlative Radio.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Superlative Radio. Come back anytime, and when you do, please make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a comment. We really want to know what you think. We'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, because that's the way it's supposed to be.